everybody, and welcome to Whiskey at Work.
This is another one of your bad ideas.
This is a bad idea because I'm drinking what you paid for. Hey, everybody, welcome to the most off-the-rails Whiskey at Work I think I'm ever going to do. I don't know who thought this was a good idea.
I think it was
you. Apparently it was me. And now I'm regretting
with all the other bad ideas you've had regarding this show.
All of it. All right.
Here, drink this. You'll hate it. Okay.
It's me. It's Mark. It's Rob Henry, of course, my cohort over there.
I kind of miss it since, miss having you by myself on these.
Do you?
Well,
did you just say that out loud? We recorded that. That was on the camera.
Believe no one's
He's
laughing.
a little peanut butter and jelly.
We said that. Mm-hmm. Rob, I'm a little.
This is one of those cases where there's a definite need for a sarcasm font.
Emotional. Joining Rob
I'm there
and
too,
I.
but forget about that. I'm always there. Rob just doesn't see me as a human.
That voice.
You're not going to be human after drinking all that.
That voice you're hearing is the man who makes all of the videos for us, who's finally joining us for one.
And this isn't the first time you've been asked, so don't throw me under the bus.
It's Russ. Thanks for joining us, Russ. And then,
You're
of course, the guest host for this episode.
And, of course, the real person that should be here.
The one I'm so regretting inviting into this at the moment. No, I'm not, Brian. I love having you around, man. Every time you walk in the building, yes, I do. Every time you walk in the building, it's fun to see you. We talk with
fun for you.
A lot of maybe not so much for you. I get it. We talk to a lot of
that's a little cold
artists and people in the music industry.
3
and
2.
And it's fun to have somebody here who's really, taking off. I mean, this is what I love to do. Is not only talk whiskey.
Hello.
But I like. Well, Russ hasn't been. I don't think Russ. How long have you been making music?
Since 5th grade.
What about you, Brian? I mean,
since 4th grade.
So I can name that grade.
I started playing drums when I was 10.
Did you really?
10 years old. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And you're from. We've established you're from California.
Yep.
Originally.
Today, apparently.
Good. But he moved up to the coolest state. And that's where he resides now.
Coldest, for sure, yeah.
No, North Dakota's awesome. You and I had this conversation about North Dakota, and that we love it. We're cool.
Yes, right? I mean, just for the record, let's just say that when you found out I wasn't a North Dakota native,
he thought less of you.
He absolutely did, and you even admitted that. And you said you were still battling internally whether or not you were going to accept me as a friend or not because of that information.
I think you look like a North Dakota native.
Dang it.
With your fair skin.
I'm surprised you even thought I was originally from there because I don't have the accent.
You don't. That's very true. You don't have a Fargo accent. Well, how do you say?
I mean, I can do it. I can pledge allegiance to the flag if I want.
Say the word North.
North.
You're not
North Dakotans that bite their tongue on that deal.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, I know it's supposed to be Nort.
It's Nort.
I know that, 100%. And I know I'm not supposed to say that.
Well, it was fun to know you were here and that you sat down to do this with us, Brian.
Thanks for having me.
And so we thought what would be cool is to drink a bunch of whiskey that is musically based, right? And you actually had Writer's Tears. You said was one of your favorite Irish whiskeys, right? Do you drink a lot of whiskey, Brian? Is it a go-to for you?
Yeah. Name another alcohol.
And then it'll be
It'll be that one too. Welcome to my club.
I'm not picky, man. But recently Writer's Tears has been in the cabinet for a year. I usually try to keep a bottle of that in the house because it's delicious and it's cheap. Bang for your buck, man. It's a great whiskey.
Do you feel that it? Do you feel a pull to this going back to the great writers from Irish history?
Of course.
That sit down.
Of course.
And you put yourself into that bar alone. It's dark, kind of smoky. You're pouring yourself this, and you're writing.
It's raining outside.
It's raining outside.
Of course, it has to be raining.
My wife has left me. Because you can't write a good song without heartache.
First good decision Brittany's ever made.
ever made.
I found out about this
I
stuff.
was supposed to slam for both of them.
I know. I don't know why I'm still here.
I don't know either. You're just drinking my booze.
So fun fact about me trying Writer's Tears for the first time. I did a Irish whiskey tasting on March 14th, I believe, of 2020, which was like 3 days before everything. It was like a federal, hey, everything's shutting down.
Right.
I think right before that there had been a couple states that had already kind of shut down. And so it was like the last night that the bars were open, and Brittany and I went to our favorite restaurant, went to this Irish whiskey tasting. And we both fell in love with this stuff. She doesn't really like whiskey, but she likes this one.
Well, and just to so everybody knows, you are a singer-songwriter from Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
California, Fargo, North Dakota. You've gone down to Nashville a handful of times now. You have singles, you have EPs,
I lived there also.
When he was 7.
So
Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, 3, 2. When for the last, 8 months, this is kind of the new program. I do 2 weeks in Fargo and 2 weeks in Nashville every month. And that's what I do, yeah.
So when you're down in Nashville, I mean, you're not obviously recording the entire time. What else are you doing while you're down there? Just writing?
Writing, yeah.
Okay. Do you have groups of people you write with?
Yeah.
Just you?
Yes.
Who do you like to write with down there?
Well, if it was just him, he could do it in North Dakota.
No, you get the Nashville, you get the ambiance of the city, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, I co-write all the time. Every day I'm down there for that reason.
That's why he's got tears.
That's why I'm so.
God,
I've connected so much with this Irish whiskey. But no, man,
tell.
like it's cool. I co-write there Monday through Friday while I'm down there. Sometimes on the weekends too. And this last trip, I was making my next record.
Well,
so I didn't do much writing the last month, but before that, yeah.
So I'm amazed by that. I guess to be able to every day sit down and be creative in that. I mean, can you do that every day? Do you have moments where you're like, no, there's not enough Writer's Tears. There's not enough Heaven's Door. There's not enough. I just can't. There's nothing coming.
Well,
to
the
me.
cool part is when you write with different people every day, you get different point of views and different ideas. And of course, sometimes you get into the room and you're like, man, I only have like 1 or 2 lines or one idea that you bring to the table. But I always try to bring at least one idea to the room before we do a write. That way you're not the guy that doesn't have anything to contribute right off the bat, but someone else might have a better idea that day, and then we chase that one down and we do it collectively, and then we get a song out of it.
Is that normal to write that much? I mean, is that happening all the time in a place down there?
Yep.
Just constantly.
Oh yeah.
They have
every
writing
day.
rooms and writing groups and whatever.
Yeah, that's
going constantly, don't they?
Yeah, we've got a room there, and that's where we write every single day.
My God, what is it like inside your head?
Do you really want to know that answer?
I know.
You know what Manson looks like?
Well, I don't know if. God, I hope that's not the case with Brian.
Stephen King.
So when did you realize that you had an ability to do that? Were you like in elementary, grade school, middle school? Were you like, well, creative writing? I love this.
I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know. You always do it to try to get better. So I'm just writing as much as I can every day if I can, and I don't think I'm great at it. I think I can write a lyric every once in a while or come up with a catchy melody. That's kind of what I like to do, is like the melody side of things. But you just keep trucking and get all the bad songs out of the way.
When you're working, if you come up with something that people in the room like, how do you decide if one of you is going to record it or if you're going to put it out on the market?
Yeah, I think it kind of just depends. Like, it just depends on how the song ends up, like if it's something that I think is good for me as the artist to, like represents me and what I'm doing on the artist part of things, and I'll say, hey, I'm going to record this song, or, whatever. Or if it fits none of us, we just hold on to it, and then maybe we do a demo of it and try to pitch it to somebody or whatever.
Is it always that friendly though? Do you get contentious sometimes? Do you ever want to be like, no, I think I'm going to do it. And the other guy's like, no, you're not.
I don't know.
About my girlfriend.
I don't know. Maybe we wrote this one song that I'm putting out in, I think it's the day before, August 5th it's coming out, the day before I start playing the rally this year. And it's called Why We Sing About Trucks. And I think it's not a funny song at all, Rob. But
I really want an answer to this. I hope it
is. And it's a cool tune about your grandpa passing down a truck of his that he's had since
Well, you don't got to make us sad. I mean,
And,
that's not
Well,
what
it's
this
country.
is about.
That's
And
what
so-
they do.
It's kind of a different version of a truck song, but but I think my buddy Aaron, I wrote it with Brianna Helding and Aaron Simmons, and I think Aaron, when I was like, hey man, I'm going to cut it, because we initially talked about us holding on to that one and making a demo of it and then trying to pitch it, because we all were really like excited about it. And then I played it at a couple shows, and at the last time I played it at the Loud, there was a couple people that it really struck a chord with, and Brittany was like, you need to cut that song, because it's,
Right.
it just, I don't know, it just started connecting with people. And I was like, damn, maybe I should. So I did.
So what happens if you've recorded the song and then somebody like, I don't know, who's a country guy?
Me. What if I decided to take it?
What
and,
you know, I don't
what if-
know.
Yeah, let's say he
Garth Brooks
can't name
Church.
What
he
if
can't
Garth
name a
Brooks
single.
comes through the door and
I
is
was,
like,
I was
love
trying to
that
think
song about your truck.
think of somebody cool that, like
Like-
Eric Church, that
What about
wants
Garth
to record.
Brooks? Let's
Or
talk
Garth-
about the
okay.
OG.
I don't
country
think he
guy.
was the original, but
Well, that's it.
but so if a big name comes
Right.
around and wants to record it,
Yeah.
thinks that it has merit,
Yeah.
what happens then?
Then you say yes.
There's
And
And
then,
all of a
uh,
sudden you have credit as a songwriter for a.
Well, I do anyway, because I wrote it, right?
Right.
But like,
That's what I mean.
the whole point of a big artist cutting it is that it gets streamed more and purchased more and played more, and which means
You get that
your
cash.
your income from that goes up.
In case you haven't noticed, our questions are not intelligent questions that we ask on this show because we drink a lot. So they're not.
Well,
you
we
know,
haven't even. Have you guys been drinking this whole time before I got here? Or
I've been trying.
quite possibly. Sure.
You never know.
doing
I
pretty
keep it in
good.
a sippy cup, so you can't.
Even though
tell.
these microphones aren't really set up
This
for,
is not a drinking
Right.
microphone.
No,
You gotta do
they're
one of
hard to.
these.
Yeah.
You got to pull it away. Well, here's another
you gotta
good
put
question.
it off the side. I mean, I don't know.
Would you
Making me
rather?
left-handed.
Would you rather have a number one hit song, or would you rather write a number one hit song? Not both. I'm not saying you can't do both. Pick one or the other. You have a song that hits the charts number one. You wrote a song that somebody else takes to the charts in number one.
That's a damn
Is-
good question.
Is there? It is. I asked a good question.
think no, it's good
put a
because
gold star on
you're
it.
so out of the loop in it that you have no idea. No, I think I would probably do. Here's the thing. Writing a song, like you could write a number one hit, and you can even perform a number one hit, and you could not repeat that, right? That those are both possible. They've been done before, where someone has a hit as an artist, and
Yeah,
one hit wonder.
There's a name for that.
Right,
now. It's,
right.
It's called a one.
One
hit
hit
the
wonder.
wonder.
Rob-
Yeah.
It's
Thanks for jumping in there, Rob.
Yeah,
Good
you
one.
know, I invented that term right after I named it The Rock.
and
Tom Hanks has a movie about that
Oh God.
called The
Okay.
Wonders.
Anyway, Brian.
And is he in The Rock too? No, I was like, wait a second. That was Nick. That was Nicolas Cage. Okay, so
Nick Cage.
Oh my!
I love and Ed Harris. What a great movie. To answer your question,
Sure, that'd be great if you could.
Yeah,
I'd love
yeah,
that right
yeah.
now.
gotta
The
cut
first
that
time he gets a
This
great
is where
question,
we start. Listeners
cut that
start.
out.
The one
And no
good question
answer.
I've ever had.
And you get no
I
answer.
can't get an answer.
I'd do it as an artist. I would like performing, like having a number one song as an artist, I think, if I didn't write it. And because nowadays it's really important as a writer to write with artists, because a lot of artists want to have writer's credits on stuff. So your odds of getting a song cut are a lot better if you're writing with an artist versus just three songwriters who aren't artists trying to pitch songs.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
So-
Sure.
I think
So it's not like Elvis, where he just came in and said, "Hey, man, we're going to record this song, but you got to give us credit on it."
Yeah, So I would do it from, I'd want to have a number one hit as an artist, because that would open up a lot of other doors too on the artist side, which would lead me to be able to be writing with other artists and stuff.
Now I've
If
asked.
that makes any sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I've asked this question of other artists that I've talked to. Let's say you never have a number one hit. Let's say you're never.
Let's say you're like everybody else.
Well, let's say you're not the Luke Bryan or the Eric Church or anybody like this. Okay.
Luke Bryan was the name I was trying to come up with.
You couldn't get Luke Bryan. Unbelievable.
He had half of it in his room already.
I had Brian in my head.
And his middle name's probably Luke.
probably.
It totally isn't, but it could be.
So, but you live in Nashville. You write in Nashville. You perform. You're getting to do exactly what you love to do.
Yeah.
Does it matter? Does it matter if you ever if you go your entire life without ever reaching that pinnacle?
Hell yeah, it matters. How am I gonna retire? I can't rely on Brittany, even though I am.
That's not her position currently.
Well, let's say you're able to make some money at it and tour.
I'm joking with you, man. I've been doing this, at least performing, for a long time, and really seriously writing for at least a few years now. So I'm all in it, dude. Like, there's no other path for me to take. So it's all or nothing.
Sure.
So if it takes me till I'm, 50 or whatever, or a year from now, or what, I don't know.
50s, it's not. Don't say it like that. Don't say it like
me till I'm your age.
50.
I never said that. You take that how you want.
Boy, I did.
Yeah, you did.
I could be a huge Nashville success and still be younger than you. No, I would settle for that.
Oh my God. So I've talked with you about this before, Bryan, is I know that you do most of your shows with you and a guitar on stage.
All of my shows that way.
Right.
Yep.
He
All
can't
of them.
get anybody else to work with him.
Yeah.
Again, I was going to try to keep this.
No, let's be all of my shows.
All of your
single
shows
one
are
of
like
them.
that.
Yeah.
At the rally last year, I see you get up on stage with a local band here. Okay. And you do my favorite song. All right. Why don't you have a band? You in front of a band are electric. You really are. You're a front man.
Well, thank you.
Where's your band?
Around a Paul.
Dude, here's the thing.
Dad jokes.
Oh man.
You're not holding up to those yet, probably. Wait till you get
Here's
to
the thing, man.
Nashville.
My show now is like, I love being a front man. I love singing and performing and trying to capture people's attention and do the whole thing. I've done it for a long time, right? And now that I'm writing a ton and doing all my own stuff during the shows, it just makes sense to tell the stories of all these songs that I've written. And that's just kind of, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or what, but it's
that again.
but
Still not as old as you, but
but I don't know, you live a little more, and it's, to me, maybe it's just me, I like songs that have a story, right? Which is country music, right?
Totally get
and
that.
I love to tell the story, and I think in the way I'm doing it now, it's just easier to tell that story of those songs in this type of show I'm doing it now.
But do you miss that? No, I can answer the question. I don't think you do. The way you explained it, I don't think you do miss that. I think you are perfectly happy doing what you want to do because you do tell the story behind the songs.
Yeah.
Well, Bryan was a frontman in different bands for years.
Right.
I mean, this is just another step in the path, right?
Yeah, I'll have a band eventually, but and also it's way easier logistically,
sure,
and financially for me to just travel around by myself and bring all my merch, set up my stuff, do a show, and I can be in a city 8 hours away the next day, no problem.
That's very true.
I don't have to try to. It's just easier. If a show, it happened today when we were working today. I got an email, hey, can you do this show on Saturday, which is 4 days away.
Yep.
That logistically, with 3 or 4 other people, that would have been a deal.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It just it's easy, It's I don't mean easy it doesn't take effort. Of course, I have to drive everywhere and do all that. Everything's on me. The success and the failure of it is based on me, and that's it, right? So there's definitely pressure that way, but it's just easier as far as getting my point across to the crowd that I want to.
Okay. And you've got...
Are we ever going to bring this back around to whiskey, or are we just talking about Bryan's career?
I think he's upset about the moment we had yesterday about I'll be the bad guy, and he's trying to redeem himself.
I'm trying to a little bit because I felt bad about that. I did.
To bring it back a little bit.
I don't feel bad, though, just so you know.
I know.
Bryan was in a band called 32 Below a few years back, who was actually sponsored by...
Cricket Furrow.
By who?
By Proof Artists and Distillers.
They sponsored 32 Below, no kidding.
How is it that I know more about this than you?
I'm half in the bag.
Yeah, we were sponsored by Cricket Furrow for 2 or 3 years.
So we had gone through this whole process of drinking Crooked Furrow. It was delicious. We loved it. How do we get it? What do we do? Whatever.
You guys literally talked about us in the episode.
Then why weren't we able to get more with Bryan making trips down here? With Bryan coming down for the what?
Because he brought the rest of the band with him. We didn't like them.
Joel, if you watch this, I'm gonna come see you and bring Mark a bunch of stuff from you.
Please, Joel.
He's making us go to Fargo in September.
Yeah, I've got a show September 16th, and the whole crew should come up and do the distillery tour at Proof. Be awesome.
Well, then, yeah. Why don't we do that?
Because it's in North Dakota.
It's in Fargo.
Fargo's pretty cool. They got
Fargo
some stuff
It's
up
a
there.
beautiful town, but it's
It
a
is.
long ways from here.
It's what, 8 hours? 9 hours? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many?
Yeah,
8.
Sure.
All of them, depending on which way you go.
Add those 3 up.
It's a lot of hours.
Bryan actually spent 10 nights in my bed one time, and I don't know enough about him.
Mark Houston uses a
Hopefully
bidet.
you weren't with him.
All right.
Can I be one?
Let's wrap this up. Thank you for doing this, Bryan.
Thank you for having me.